TikTok is back, Big Ben. Back. Last week, Google and Apple announced that it brought back TikTok into its app store. Now, TikTok, owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company, disappeared from the app store on January 18th, only in the US, because a ban was intimate. So we, the consumer, have been experiencing a lesser version of TikTok. No upgrades, no algorithm specialty that TikTok does. It's just been idling. And we, the NBA consumer, have been experiencing a lesser version of the Boston Celtics.
Oof.
But make no mistake, Big Ben, the Celtics still are the team to beat and the favorite to go on. Now, here, listen to these stats. The Celtics were 8-6 in December, 10-6 in January, 5-1 in February. It's a long NBA season. These Celtics are elite defensively, top 3 defensive team. They make more three-pointers than anyone. I don't care about percentage. They have 100 more threes than anyone, and they have a championship pedigree. So, like TikTok and the Celtics, they are both back, Big Ben, coming hot after the All-Star break.
So you're saying the Celtics' success is relative to the availability of TikTok?
I'm just saying both were down for a little bit.
Right.
There was no upgrades to the algorithm.
Stagnant. I love it. I absolutely love it. You know what I used to do for a green drink? You'd go get those little, Starbucks has them and a few other places, but they're just watered down green juice. They're not great. They're gross. Or I used to make my own. That was an absolute zoo mess. You're slamming celery in, spinach, whatever else you got that's green in the thing. You put a little water in it, blend it in. It's disgusting. And you got to clean up for 15 minutes. Thank gosh I found Magic Mind. But it takes me 2 minutes. Boom, boom. I'm done. I'm on with my day. I'm efficient. I'm out the door. I got 2 kids now. I can't make green juice. I can't. It'd be impossible. And 2, with inflation, the cost of making green juice is like $12. I can't drink a $12 green juice that takes me 25 minutes to make and 15 minutes to clean up. So thank gosh for Magic Mind. Small little vial. Wake up every morning. You get it. You pop it. You feel like almost
brand new.
You not only do you feel brand new, but there's something to it where it's like, this is going to work. Right? This is going to work. This has got so much good stuff. It has to work. And it does. Day in, day out. I'm sharper. I can recall things easier. I'm less temperamental. I feel like I'm just at ease with Magic Mind.
Everyone's looking for that mental edge. Everyone's looking for mental performance. You have that mental edge with mental performance with their mental performance shot. If you check us out and go to magicmind.com/BigBenKWin20, you get 20% off a one-time purchase or up to 48% off subscription. And that subscription stacks. So you can get it down to $4 per bottle. That's the Magic Mind mental performance shot. It gets me going. It gets Big Ben going. It's that clean, crisp energy.
And as you get to the checkout, go to enter Big Ben KWin20 at checkout.
Let's get this podcast going. Hello.
Boom.
Welcome to Big Ben and K-Win. Each week we broadcast live on YouTube. We're also anywhere you get your audio podcast. Download, listen, subscribe. If you're watching this live or on demand, or you're following us on social media, drop your comments below. We will get into that later. I'm K-Win. He's Big Ben. Today we're going to talk a little NBA, a little March Madness, social media mentions, and much, much more. All right. You want to go NBA?
Let's go NBA.
Okay. We're coming off an All-Star game that I did not watch.
No, neither
did I.
It wasn't. It was All-Star. It was All-Star games. It was All-Star games, right?
That's true.
All-Star games,
different
plural.
format.
Yes, and Max McClung is called up from the minor leagues to win the dunk contest for what, a 4th time?
Second time, back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah.
He could reach Nate Robb's three titles if he comes back next year. Does he just go to oblivion? Does he become an influencer, like leave and then just come back when called upon?
He goes to the G League, but his G League card might be running out. Maybe he'll be like on the And One tour, like Professor. He'll be the little professor that dunks.
The G League card. I like it. Yeah, they got to take it away from you if you can't make it to the NBA or be on a 10-day.
Expired.
Expired.
All right. I want to take us back, and then I'll take us forward.
Okay.
We're talking about NBA MVP. The last 6 years, it's what I'm calling the 6'11 and up club. You had to be
Okay.
6'11 or above to win. I'm talking Jokic. He won 3 out of the last 4 years. When he didn't win, Embiid won. And before that, it was Giannis. So you got these 6 big players who can do it all, extremely talented, winning the MVP. This year, we don't even have to talk MVP because it's going to be Shea. SGA all the way. I want to look out, maybe 4 years, 5 years down the road, and we're going to look at NBA first-timers, and we're going to debate on who's most likely to win the award first. So these are the first-time NBA All-Stars from the weekend that we didn't watch. Cade Cunningham, Detroit. Evan Mobley, Tyler Hero, and Alperen Şengün. Who's most likely to win MVP first, Big Ben?
Listen, you think about those. So Evan Mobley, people like a mystery. Most have heard of Cade Cunningham. He came out of Oklahoma State. He was I think, Naismith Player of the Year. Evan Mobley, same thing, came out of USC. I want to call him, he was a good player, right? But played at USC, and I don't think they're that great.
Made it to the tournament.
They made it to the tournament. Yeah. They made it to the tournament. Yeah, they made it to the tournament.
That's good. Hey, that's good for USC.
Okay. That is good for USC. All right. So my answer to your question is there's some mystery around, and I wasn't familiar with this player before either, but that's Alperen Şengün. And I say this because I look at his stats. He's averaging 18, 11, and 5. I rounded up a little bit. The only 3 other players in the NBA doing that today are Giannis, Jokic, and Sabonis. Those guys are tried and true NBA All-Stars. Yeah. Both 2 have won MVPs. So and he's 6'11". He's in the 6'11 club. He fits the criteria, right? Yeah. Everything outlined. Yes. He's 6'11". He is the guy we're discussing. Cade Cunningham, okay. Evan Mobley, we know who he is too. We've seen a lot of him. Alperen, we don't really know. He was the 16th pick by OKC, ended up in Houston. And Houston's a pretty darn good team this year. And he's a massive reason why. So I think you look at out years, I think he becomes the guy in Houston. The guy. And I don't see him trending down. I mean, he averaged 21 points a game last year. He's averaging 19 this year, but his rebounds have gone up. And at that stat line, you can't deny a guy like that. Detlef Schrempf made 3 All-Star games with lesser stat lines, right? So that's what we look at. Stats, how do they stack up? Is the team winning? He's in the All-Star game. And I don't think he's the best player on that team. There's not another player that's going to supplement him, right? So my answer to you with that wonderful justification.
I love it. He's a beast.
He is.
Cade Cunningham. I thought you were going to go Cade. He averaged, 25, 6, 9. The Pistons were last in the East. Now they're the 6th. As he goes, the Pistons goes. He's built in the same mold of a Russ or a Harden where you can kind of do it all. And we saw that they won the MVP. But no, I'm going another 6'11 guy, Evan Mobley. Ooh. And here's why, Big Ben. He came into the league. He shot maybe 1.5 threes, hit half a 3 a game, shooting 25%. He hasn't scratched the surface of his potential. Now he's at 37% from 3. He's shooting 2.5, making, I don't know the math. He's shooting close to 3, making 1.
Making 3/4.
But once he becomes a volume 3-point shooter and can consistently make it, he's going to be that much harder to guard. He's going to be that more efficient on the offensive end, and he's going to go in the East. And his defense, he's already an all-NBA defensive player. I love Şengün, but Mobley can do it on both sides. He can impact the game in so many different ways, and he's in the 6 and 11 and above club. So I'm going to go Mobley there, but I'm not going to really argue with Şengün because I could see him winning it too.
But with Mobley, you have Garland, you have Mitchell, like both those players.
We're projecting out 4 or 5 years. Those guys are going to be.
We're going 4 or 5 years. These guys won't be on the same team.
Well, then it'll be Mobley's team. That's my point.
Okay, I get it. I absolutely do. Both fit the qualification. Cade does not.
Now,
He's on the 6'11" club.
here's the rub. What if I threw in, because all these players are under 25. What if I threw in Ant at 23, Paolo at 22, and Maxi? Out of all of the NBA first timers and those three, who wins the MVP first?
God, that's a lot. Well,
Yeah.
first you got to play in the game to win the MVP, so I don't think Ant's going to qualify.
No, I'm talking MVP of the league.
League.
Yeah, league. Sorry.
League.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm saying league
Oof.
MVP.
Dude, my algorithm's not up to par this morning to run that through.
Oh, that's fine.
But, all right, let me take a shot. You're
Yeah.
saying Ant's under
Paolo.
25. Paulo. I don't
He's
think Paulo.
22. Maxi's 24. And then the first time all-stars, Cade, Alperen, Mobley. We didn't even talk hero.
So you got to look at the trajectory of the team, right? You're not going to win MVP when you're an 8 or 9 seed. So I don't think Mobley is like a guy to be the guy. So I would. Cade is. I don't think the Pistons will sniff like anything beyond a 6 seed.
Whoa.
And
He's
that's
on the
4 to 5
up.
years. And not the up and up. Like you got to look at the pockets of the owners too to put it. And I same thing, small market team for Paulo.
Pistons won back to back, man.
That was in the day and age like where like
I'm talking before Isaiah Rashid.
Okay, with Chauncey and Richard
Detroit
Hamilton.
basketball.
God, you're good. You're a good salesman. You just want me to say Cade, don't you?
I'm just egging you on. I want you to say something so I can pick someone else.
Okay. Of that group, who's on the best team? Probably Evan Mobley.
No.
How old's Darius Garland?
25, 26-ish.
Does this really matter? Yes, it does. Because I'm going to be able to look back and say I was right. Let's go, Paulo.
Okay, Paulo.
Why not? Why not? Why not? I mean, he is one. You got to touch every like. You look at Giannis, Jokic. The trend with MVPs, you can't be a one trick pony, right? You got to cover the stat sheet, and he does that. He is the best player on that team,
Yeah,
hands down, right? Therefore, like you talk about with Cade Cunningham, as he goes, the team goes. So if you're going to go get a 1, 2, or 3 seed in Orlando, small market team, and you're Paulo, and you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, that's an MVP type season. That could happen. That's feasible.
could happen.
Good.
And there's no wrong answer here. But I'm going Ant. His 3-point shooting's improved. His percentages, his volume. The trade, now, I don't know if that trade was the best trade because you got Randall and Gobert clogging the paint. I think Randall's a free agent. Get him out of here and get someone to complement Ant. Sky's the limit. And you know what? He's got that personality. So he's always in the media. He's talking to the media. So he's got a little bit of edge there because he's in the back of all these sports writers' minds. So he's got the talent, but he's also got the Riz.
That's a good point you bring up. So about like the voters, right? What do the voters want to see? How much do you participate in the media without ruffling feathers or saying something wrong? How available are you to the media and to the fact where you're not flooding the media with, oh, here's Ant telling us about, what he eats on a Tuesday. Like, there's a balance there. There's got to be some mysteriousness. There's got to be some professionality around the engagement in the media. Ant's a little ubiquitous. Like he's a good self-promoter. He reminds me of Mayweather in the NBA. Like, I'm the guy. I am that guy, right? Okay, you can tell me, but go show me. Right? Go show me. And I don't know, Ant has for the most part, but you got to win a title.
He's only 23. It seems like he's been
know.
playing a long time.
I know.
Like, that's the scary part.
Exactly. And you're like, wait, he's 23. Okay, you give him a little. You give him a little, like, if he was 33 doing some of the stuff, you kind of scratch your head. But you're right. He's got that Riz. He's got that P and V, as I would say.
The NBA's in a good hand. Like Steph, KD, LeBron, they're getting older. We haven't even mentioned Wemby, who's 21, or
I
Luca,
know.
who's 20. Luca's 25. Like,
I know. There's a lot.
yeah.
Is there too much?
I don't think there's too much. There's never too much. You got international stars, you got young
You do.
stars, you got bigs, you've got guards, you've
You
got
do.
point forwards. It's a good time to be alive.
Someone said to me, the All-Star game in the NBA should be international versus US, and they're playing for tariffs. Like that's. Could you imagine that?
I mean, we got to go against Shea,
She's
Giannis,
Canadian. She's Canadian. We got
Jokic.
some French. We got to, yeah, you would have to. It'd be a good matchup for sure.
So wait, the winner gets to impose tariffs on the losing
Yeah,
country?
subsequent, there's agreed upon tariffs, winners, losers. The entire economy rests on the shoulders of a basketball game. Let's get on to the next thing. Let's go.
I mean, we need Shea to get locked up by who do we have?
Yeah, maple
I
syrup.
guess we got Mobley. We got Cunningham. Can we
Maple
bring
syrup's
up Cooper
$100
Flag?
now. Yeah, sure. No holds bar, whomever. Max McClung can come in for a little bit and
If it's
play.
a dunk contest, U.S. versus the world for tariffs, we're winning that.
All right, where are we going?
We're going college basketball. This is your topic. This is what
Okay.
you want to do after you're watching
This is
Arkansas.
gosh, I was. There's like this. There's this.
How are you
lull.
watching Arkansas? You're
There's
telling
this
me you
lull
got two
coming.
kids.
Okay,
You don't have a lot of time for
listen.
stuff, but you've watched
Listen what I did
Razorbacks?
on Saturday. We had nothing going on, and I'm like, all right, what's on? College hoops.
Okay.
So I had the 60-day-old, 45-day-old. I don't know. She's still in the day count. Anyway, she loves just laying and sleeping, right? And if you put her somewhere else, you just, what do? You roll with it. You realize you're not going to get anything done, and you watch hoops. So, and right now we're in a lull. There's no football. There's no baseball. Basketball was on a break, so you're kind of NBA at least. So I got the chance to watch the college hoops, and I wanted to do a take stock on where the West Coast was in terms of who's in the tourney, who's not. So Joey Brackets right now has 5 teams from the West Coast in.
I was getting my credit card out to to pay for those stock transactions.
Taking stock is different from stocks. Taking stock is like, okay, who's in?
I was going to buy stock in these companies.
Oh, you want to buy? Okay, let's take that and run with it. Here we go. You have to buy stock in one of these 5 teams headed into, because I'm going to actually ask you to do one of these 4 teams because I think there's an obvious answer right now based on who's playing well on the West Coast. These 4 teams, one is already in, or excuse me, not one is already in, but one's a lock. We're going to consider it a lock. That's Arizona. They're already in. They're playing well. Who did they beat this past weekend?
Baylor last night.
They beat Baylor. They're like, trajectory is on the way up. They're up and to the right. If they're a stock, they hit a dip. Hopefully you bought the dip, and they're on their way up. All right, 4 more teams on the West Coast. Gonzaga, projected 8 seed. Oregon, projected 8 seed. UCLA, projected 6 seed. And St. Mary's as an automatic qualifier out of the WCC, as it is today, as a 7 seed. Who are you buying?
So you can throw Arizona in there because I still am not buying them.
Gosh, everyone just got hurt by them the last 2 years.
Yeah. They lost 4 out of 5 early in the year. They lost a good competition. They're up and down. They beat Baylor, but they lost to Houston.
6 straight versus top 25 opponents. That's something.
Here's the thing. I'm not okay with Arizona on. It's 2 things. Caleb Love is their best player, but he's too inconsistent. He can go for 20 or he can go for 2. And he's going to go for 2 as soon as you pick him to go to the Sweet 16. And Tommy Lloyd is a good recruiter, but I don't know if he's a good X and O coach in the tournament time. Arizona out.
Good assessment.
Oregon, haven't seen them enough. Out. St. Mary's, I got to bring up my stats here. They're out too, but I'm going to tell you why they're out.
Not enough quad 1 wins.
I can't even go back this far. They lost to too many teams. Like in the preseason, they lost to like a Utah. They lost to a couple teams in the Mountain West. They play in the WCC. I'm not sure about it. I'm going Zags. This is the year everyone's down on the Zags. I'm up on the Zags. Mark Few is playing with, as Big Ben would say, house money. They're not a 1 seed. They're not a 2 seed. There's no pressure to win at all. They still got Nemhart. They got Ike Graham or whatever Ike's name is. They've got these 4-star players. They've got the international connection. This is the year the Zags make it to another Sweet 16. Out of all those teams on the West Coast, I'm going Zags.
I like the Zags, and here's why too. Depth. They've got. I really like the. So Ben Grigg is a guy I like, 10 points, but they have take Ben Grigg at 10 points. You got 5 other players averaging 10 points or more. Graham Ike is your guy. He's a big, right? But Khalif Battle is good as well. He's a Washington kid. I think they're sneaky good. They're the below the radar. Nemhart's still there, averaging 10 assists a game.
Nolan Hickman's still there. He was on the.
I know. So they got guys. You got
Huff
guys.
can shoot it.
Yes, exactly. Let's go Zags. Let's go put some money on
The
Zags.
difference is they don't have that lottery pick guy. They don't have the Chet or the
But they're a team.
But they're a team
But
of talented players.
That's the difference. So I text you. I'm like, I like Arkansas. Dude, Arkansas has talent. And everyone's like, and it's just Calipari hasn't been able to piece it together. It's exactly the same thing that happens in Kentucky. He's like, I got to try to piece this together as quickly as possible. He's trying to find the right rotations. He's trying to find what players to give him forward. He's realizing you can't put 5 talented players on the field or on the court all at the same time. But he doesn't have a team. There's no cohesiveness. They don't play with each other well. The ball goes in some guy's hands and then the guy puts it up and they run back down on the other floor. Zags are a team.
Yeah.
Zags are a team. That counts in March. God, I can't wait for March Madness.
A month out.
How does that intro go?
One shining.
No, that's the outro. That's the outro. That's the outro. That's the outro everyone waits for. If your teammate isn't playing the championship, you sit there and watch. If it's a blowout, you still watch just to get the outro. Okay, can we go? Can we go to our
social media mentions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Can I do mine first?
You can do yours first.
Yes. Okay. So I hope this goes viral. This whole idea of literally people giving us, razzing us because.
Listen, if you're gonna troll us, at least be funny.
Yeah, I mean, so here it is: the microchip battle versus the chain gang. I'm chain gang.
Yeah,
I'm chain gang guy. Get the microchip out of there if it comes down to it. If you want to give me the microchip or the chain gang, give me the chain gang all day long. I am a son of a chain ganger. My dad was a chain ganger for a long time. But here's a social media. Microchip versus chain gang for spotting the football. Here's at VBS_pocket watch. I kind of like that on TikTok. Says his argument for why we shouldn't is basically the same reasoning for people not wanting cell phones. I don't get that. So listen,
you don't want to adopt technology.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Have you heard of Hawkeye? Hawkeye is a technology used by tennis, the tennis organization. You and I have both been to a tennis match when they pause everything and they go, I want to go look at what Hawkeye has to say versus the line judge, right? And everyone claps and goes, and it's millimeters in or out, right? And there's just and that's fun, but there's still the human element. The human element is the person making the judgment, and then we use the technology, if needed, to rectify the human element, right?
So the technology supports the human, doesn't replace the human.
Exactly. Maintain the human element. The other part of this is you look at Major League Baseball. If you've watched a game, we all have the little grid now, whereas people can complain when the ball doesn't end up in the grid and the guy calls it a strike, right? And vice versa. If the ball does end in the grid, the ball. Right, you can pass judgment, but yet the human element still exists. At pages_apart on TikTok, there 100% needs to be digital aspect to spotting. This year alone, multiple playoff games hinged on the questionable spots. Here's what we do. Put it in. Put the microchip in.
The chip's already in. They
announced it. Okay, put it in.
Troll us on social media. And our thing was, it wasn't N. They're just not using it yet to spot.
Put it in. Put
It's
it in,
bro.
Put it in. I'm saying I'm no. Put the ball down. Walk away. Allow the chain gang to come out. I don't want him to put it down and go. Whew. I don't want that. What do you mean? No, I still need the person to come and pull out the chain and show me that it's a first down. I want validation. I don't trust this technology 100%. I want validation. Back to the millimeters or inches. I want to see that it is indeed a first down.
So despite what people are saying, you're sticking with the chain gang.
Not in perpetuity, not 100%. I'm saying there can be a marriage of the two, technology plus the chain gang.
Love it.
I'd love to be a chain gang guy in the NFL or college football.
Maybe you'll get that job one day.
Yeah,
all right, I'm going to go to @the1guy on TikTok. A microchip, all caps, throwing off the weight of the football. It would add an imperceivable amount of weight to the ball. Bro must be a Chiefs fan. I like that one. He was funny. All right, I got one more. Tanking for Cooper flag. @volleyball_reels. Pay attention to that. He's a volleyball fan, not a basketball fan. @volleyball_reels on Instagram. Why do you have a podcast if you can't promise now the name's right? Yeah, I said it correctly. He said, why do you have a podcast if you cannot promise now the name's right? That's what you get for being an internet troll. Autotext got him. He meant to say pronounce instead of promise. And he tried to come at us. And you know what? I said Stephen Castle. It should have been Stefan Castle. I got excited about the flag going to the Spurs, and I butchered his name.
Hey, listen, your pronunciation percentage is about as good as your 3-point percentage. So, I mean, you got that, right?
There we go.
I love it. Let's keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Give me the controversy.
@BigBenKWin_ Instagram, TikTok.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here on a high note.
Before you get out of here, you should start every day on a high note with Magic Mind. If you check us out and go to magicmind.com/BigBenKWin20, you get 20% off a one-time purchase or up to 48% off subscription. And that subscription stacks. So you can get it down to $4 per bottle. That's the Magic Mind mental performance shot. It gets me going. It gets Big Ben going. It's that clean, crisp energy. And what else you got?
I was waiting for you to mispronounce something so I could call you on it.
Mispronounce or mispromise?
Mispromise something.
At least proofread your @ if you're going to send it.
Mispromise. Can you spell pronounce?
Yeah.
Go.
I'll edit this out if I'm wrong. PROUNANC. Okay, right? Is there A? Yeah, right?
PROUN. No. PRONOUNCE. Pronounce.
Oh, wow. I was way off. Hey, I can't spell it. I can't say it.
That's awesome. What about promise? What about promise?
PROMISE. I can spell and pronounce promise.
Next episode, Big Ben K wins spelling competition.
No, do not listen to us for any scholarly advice.
Boom.
Boom.